Hey y'all. Okay, so I found an old email from somebody and it started like, Dear Hope, I don't know what to do. Um, and she went on to say, like, I hate my job, I can't quit my job. And I see iterations of this over and over in groups that I'm in and on discovery calls. I hate my life, I hate my job right now. But I don't know what else I can do. I don't have options. I don't have the privilege of cutting back. I have to stay at this job because I have to make a certain amount of money because, I have kids or I have a mortgage or I'm living by myself on a very fixed income. So this was years ago. Um, and I don't even remember, I didn't see, I think we had a call. So I don't even remember exactly what I told her, but I thought it would be interesting to revisit this type of question because I get it or I see it so much. The first thing is like ask yourself, what is it that you hate so much about it? And get really specific. Like, not just I hate the people or I hate the specialty. Like, get super specific about what it is you don't like. And ask yourself questions like, if I were paid triple to work here, would that make it better? If I did the same thing I'm doing, but I only work 2 days a week, would that make it better? Or if you normally see 20 patients and they said, actually you only need to see 10 or 15, would that make it better? So getting really specific about that can help push you in the right direction and kind of like see what, and everybody, their next thing they say will be, well, I can't do that. They're never going to let me do that. Don't figure out the how right now, figure out the what. And if you're really having trouble figuring out the things you don't like, start noticing what you do like. And I'm not even talking about work because some of us are in a dark place where we can't even see like anything we like. And this could be true in your relationships. It could be true in like a financial situation where you're like, it's all dire. There's nothing good about, we're broke. We're broke here. We're broke there. We're broke everywhere. Or it can be true in your job where you really don't see anything good. So if you're in that really dark place, notice good stuff outside of that situation. Like notice your cat purring, notice your, little things. Like I told you, I'll speak to myself in a British accent sometimes. And I'll say like, you remembered to do the dog flea medicine, or you like, you wore a clean shirt today. Anything like that. Like, just what is one little thing that's good about your life? And it can be on the micro level. Like, it's sunny today. It has not been, like, all last week and the week before in Georgia, it wasn't very sunny or warm. And today is warm enough to like not wear a coat and sit on the front porch steps. I can take a deep breath. If you've ever been around somebody who's struggling to breathe, like even taking a deep breath in feels amazing. If you've heard a patient who's wheezing or has like COPD, I have a patient who's on dialysis 3 times a week. And, I was talking to him about urinating, and he doesn't urinate anymore because he's on dialysis. And I was thinking, gosh, that's something I don't even know that I need to be grateful for. Like being able to go to the toilet. All right. So anyway, I got off on a toilet tangent, but if you find yourself in that position, start noticing what you don't like, start noticing what you do like, even if it has nothing to do with your job. Ask yourself this question: when are you going to allow yourself to do what you know it is you need to do? So some of you, it's not, you kind of know what you need to do. You may not want to say it out loud or write it on paper, but you kind of know what you feel pulled to do. And it may be quit. And that's hard. That is really hard. That's like breaking up with somebody. I mean, quitting your job is a breakup. And so why won't we let ourselves do that? I mean, here are some of the reasons that I hear. I don't deserve to quit. Like, I made my bed, I took this job, I moved across the country, I quit my other job, I forced my spouse to move, I moved my kids to a different school. Like, basically, I have made my bed and I'm forcing myself to stay here. Well, how do you think that's going to turn out for everybody? Like, really, that's going to lead to resentment. It's going to lead to anger and resentment. And that's going to, I mean, that kind of energy just sullies your life. Like, you only get this one precious life. If you have kids, you only get like this magical period of years with them. If you have somebody you love, a partner, like, we don't know how long they're going to be around. We don't know how long we're going to be around. So if you're doing the whole, I don't deserve to make a change that would serve me, that is going to serve, making a change is going to serve you more than forcing yourself to stay there and living a life of bitterness and regret, because it will seep out and it will taint all areas of your life. The second reason I hear, I owe it to whoever hired me. Like, they gave me a sign-on bonus, or for me, it was like I got trained in the field of dermatology and I didn't think I deserved to leave because, gosh, all that training, all those hours. Well, guess what? Guess what? I was seeing patients. This was 8 years into it. Like, I had already paid back the amount of hours put into training me. I had not even volunteered. I'd been voluntold to be on call on weekends sometimes. I'd driven up to the office to change a bandage. I'd trained other people who came after me. Like, that's not a great excuse. And again, that's going to lead to bitterness and regret if you feel like you owe it to somebody. I mean, what kind of relationship are you going to have with them if you're staying there out of, oh, I guess I owe it to you? I can't leave my patients. Guess what? You can. They'll get over it. They'll get over it so fast, it'll blow your mind. And if they don't, they'll find you. Hopefully not in a stalkerish sort of way, but they'll find you and they'll follow you. I moved an hour, or not moved, I started working an hour away from my old practice to get out of my non-compete. And I didn't have a ton of patients drive, but I had a few drive to see me. And it was so rewarding to see that. And then I stayed there for 2 years. And when I came back to the same town, but different practice, a lot of people still found me, even though it had been 2 years. Another reason I hear is there's no hope. It won't work out. Like, they really are, they've made up their mind that it's probably not greener on the other side and they might regret it. Guess what? You will regret it if you stay. If you don't give yourself this opportunity to listen to your gut, then you're right. There is no hope. You are going to regret it. But even if you do regret it, like, there's no decision other than death that can't be undone. I mean, I told y'all I worked with a girl who moved her family from another state to work with us. And for her husband, his job was not a great fit. For her, it wasn't a terrible fit, but they didn't know anybody in this new place. And the job slowly became toxic. And so they're in this situation where they have moved away from family. They don't know what to do. They have only lived in their house less than a year that they bought. I mean, it's like, what if it doesn't work out again? What if this is my pattern? What if I'm never happy? Well, what if you are happy? Like, ask yourself the opposite. Like, what if you move back to your home state where all your family lives? And what if it does work out? What if 3 years from now you are so glad you didn't force yourself to stay in that situation? Like, you won't know unless you take a step in that direction. So for people who are like, well, it's not that I won't give myself permission to do what I need to do. It's that I really don't know what I want. And so for those people, I would say start with low-hanging fruit. Start noticing the things that give you joy, like we talked about in the beginning. Start noticing what you do prefer and give that to yourself. Because if you're the type of person who is like a martyr, you suffer, long suffering, or whatever the novels call it, You are not used to giving yourself what you want. In fact, maybe it's sort of a pride thing, like, oh, I'm the breadwinner. I can't quit. I just have to stay here. All right, well, start giving yourself little things that you do want. Like for supper, um, are you making spaghetti because everybody in the family loves it, but you hate it? I actually don't like spaghetti. And so I will not eat spaghetti when I make it. I eat whatever I feel like eating. And I give that to myself. And even little decisions like that send messages to my subconscious brain. I thought I wasn't recording, but it turns out I was. So if you notice a difference in the audio, it's because I thought I wasn't recording and I was. And now I have my little microphone on. Okay, so back to the podcast. The body does not lie. So you have to start noticing what your body is saying about these different choices, even if it's, do I want vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? Yesterday, I found out I passed my International Coaching Federation exam. That's sort of like the NCCPA exam for PAs, and I passed it. And really, the test was so hard. It was so hard. And so when I got my score, as I'm sitting in the car, I thought, you know what? I want to celebrate. And I had to immediately go pick my daughter up from middle school. And when she got in the car, I told her, and she's like rolling her eyes, like, what does that mean? And I said, well, I kind of want to celebrate. And I said, should we go get ice cream? Or, I know you shouldn't reward yourself with food. Like that's sending the wrong message, whatever. I wanted some food and I wanted something sweet. And so she goes, well, I don't know. What do you want? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was asking her what I should do to celebrate. Like, this is a perfect example of somebody who's not listening to their body. They're not speaking up about what they want. I don't know what I want. What do you want? So start with these little things. So I ended up saying, you know what I really want? I want a cupcake. I haven't eaten a cupcake in a long time. And Earth Fare, this sort of crunchy granola grocery store, has, I think, really good cupcakes. So I went in there, I got myself a cupcake. I came home and, it was supper time and I thought I should eat some protein first. I should eat, the grilled chicken that I'm making. And then I thought, you know what? I want the cupcake now. So I sat down and ate that cupcake and I enjoyed it. And I listened to my body. My body said, I want the cupcake. So start with low hanging fruit. Start listening to your body and ask yourself, what do I want? Do I need to go pee? Do I not need to go pee? Do I want to go to bed now or do I want to read for a little while? Like, get really good about, like, learn yourself. If you were dating somebody new, you'd be all over it. You'd want to know what they liked and you'd be so finely attuned to them, but you are not finely attuned to yourself, I am guessing. All right, so if you do find yourself like the person who emailed me that said, I hate my job, I don't know what I'm going to do, um, pause for a second because this in itself is good information. It's good that you recognize you don't like it. This in itself is a clue. So it's sort of like if you are hiking on a trail and you're following, you're on the AT, the Appalachian Trail, and you're following, I think they have green trail markers, but I can't remember. And you see no green trail markers, you see a blue trail marker. Well, that is good information. Like you might be freaked out and feel lost and stuck and afraid and it's getting dark, but it's actually good information. It means not this way. Not this way. This is not what I want. And so don't feel like all is lost because this is the universe or your body or your inner wise person telling you this is not what I want. And so that is good information. There's a book called When to Quit, Annie Duke. And I've told y'all about that before, but she has something she calls kill criteria, KILL. And she says, if you're starting to get that sense of like, this is not what I want, come up with kill criteria. So this is sort of like you set a date, like within how many months, within how many weeks. So let's say it's already almost February. So by April, I am going to have 3 criteria. if they don't pay me more, if they don't allow me to cut back the number of patients and come up with a third one, if I'm not sleeping through the night, whatever your kill criteria are. So you come up with those so that this doesn't go on indefinitely. Because what you don't want is to wake up in 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and you still are saying, I hate my job. I don't know what to do. So if you have these specific criteria that tell you, okay, if these boxes haven't been checked, that's when I'm going to start looking for a new job. That's when I'm going to consider moving to another state. Yeah, I could go on and on about this, but I think that's enough information for now. And your homework is just start noticing when you're doing something you don't want to be doing. And you don't have to change it right away, but just start noticing it. And then start noticing when you are doing something that does bring you joy. I was going to a yoga class. It's one of those things where it was a class I used to like a lot. And they moved to a new location. And I didn't love driving over there, but I kept doing it because it's sort of like, I hate to talk to them about ending my membership. It's inconvenient. I paid for the membership. I should finish out the year. I don't have anywhere else to go. I mean, think about it. That's like a metaphor for the same job conversation we just had. But when I finally ended my membership and started going somewhere closer to my house, it made all the difference. And every little decision like that you make when you sort of stand up for what it is that you really want, it sends signals to your subconscious brain that you matter. You are important. Like you do matter. You're worthy. You are worth making uncomfortable, hard, awkward, whatever decisions. So I will catch you next week. Next week I'll post an interview that I did with somebody, and then I'll probably be back the week after that. But remember, y'all, there is always hope. There really is. There's always hope. So don't give up.